to Friday. I am still jet lagging a little bit here. I heard somewhere that apparently for every 1 hour of time change, it takes 1 day to acclimatize, which means I've got like 3 days left. Last night again, fell asleep at about, what time? I think at about 7:30, and I woke up at 11. And then I was awake and probably fell asleep at like 3 and going to 4. Anyway, I've been quite productive in between, which is nice. Did a cool presentation this morning for the staff on Svalbard and got quite a bit of work done in between. But yeah, so some random thoughts. Hang on, very hot. We just got all the North Face jackets for the guys, which is Jono arranged for us, which is quite nice. But it's a little hot in the studio. So, thoughts. What's going on? This morning I wake up and I'm trying to get back into training, right? After being away for a while. And it's unbelievable how efficient we are at negotiating with ourselves. I just posted on my Instagram feed now. I did train this morning. I trained pretty well. 2 days going now. Felt like shit. So you wake up and you think, oh, no, I'm tired. I'll rather do it this afternoon. You think, no, because I know I won't. And then it's like, yeah, I read somewhere that sleep is more important, which it is, than training. But no, the negotiation we do with ourselves is just actually quite ridiculous. It's actually quite stupid how good we are at that. But I did train, and up until about 1 o'clock, and then suddenly the fuel tank just goes, bah, thanks, you're playing. But it's weekend now, so I'm going to finish a few more things, and then I am going to switch off for the weekend. I still don't have my luggage. It's one of those things. I've been chatting to them. We know each other on a first-name basis. My bag could potentially be on the way to South Africa, in Amsterdam or in Stockholm. But don't worry, they'll get it to me. Anyway, I can jump up and down, just carry on anyway. Yeah, lots of thoughts. It's funny how when you're tired, your internal narrative starts going all over the place. Like you can't focus on one thing, and the brain goes there, and it shows you what sleep does, hey? How important it is. What else? I got more, this is kind of fucked, but I got more mails and messages from someone with this guy who's still impersonating me. And at some stage you think, well, what can I do? What can I do, right? But to hear from people, I'm in a psych ward here because I try to kill myself because of this guy. And it's not directly, but it's kind of your fault because I saw your pictures there. It's like, fuck off. You know what I mean? It's like, what do you want me to do? It's not nice. And I get this guy is very good at manipulating people and what have you. But, Jesus, it's the second person now that has come at me and said, well, I'm going to kill myself. Well, I've tried to because of you and what you did. Okay, no, stop the train. Not me, this other person. But at some stage, I blocked one of them because at some stage you're like, you know what do you want? Because then I get blamed for I'm working with them and this and that. So I just said, listen, you need to go speak to someone. Please stop treating me like this. You're being rude. And then at the end of the day, she'll go, one more, I'm going to block them. Because what must I do? At some stage, you need to draw a line. So that's lovely. That's nice. What else? Been thinking a bit about confidence and how confidence is built out of evidence. And evidence is a result of action. And action is a result of choice. So I'm not saying it's a choice to be confident. You can fake it till you make it, but it's very fragile and it breaks quickly. But if you want to be more confident, your photography, your life, your way you feel about yourselves, your fitness, your job, public speaking, whatever it is, it's based on evidence, and you need to build evidence to that fact. And in order to build evidence that you're good at something for yourself and other people, you need to take action. And in order to take action, you need to make a choice. And looping back, that's kind of what I said in my Instagram post. I said, you know what? Don't want to do it anyway. Too tired? Do it anyway. Jet lagged? Do it anyway. Want to sleep more? Do it anyway. It's a choice. And that's all it is. but we find ways to bullshit ourselves. This is all over the show. I'm not even sure. I remember just before I sat down, I had a very clear idea of what I wanted to talk about today. And while I've been talking now, I was like trying to remember it, but I can't. So I'm just freestyling here. I thought to myself last night when I went to bed, cool, when I wake up again at 3 in the morning or 2 in the morning, I'm going to start my newsletter. I haven't done a newsletter for a couple of weeks now because of travels and lack of connectivity. This morning I woke up after laying awake most of the night and thought, okay, I'll newsletter then. But I didn't this morning. And then it's the self-imposed guilt. And I thought, you know what, fuck that. It's not that important. To me it is, because it's more about me feeling I've achieved something. And I hope people enjoy the stuff that I put out there. But you know what, if they don't get it for 1 week, then that's fine. So maybe I'll write something tomorrow. I've got thoughts, I've got notes, loads. It's just the time and energy to put it down. The thing I wanted to talk about, I think was, because when I woke up this morning from lack of sleep, and you got that post-travel blues thing happening, right? And how we go through the highs and the lows. And how we get conditioned, especially by social media, but speaking to people whether it's therapists, online coaches, whatever it is, that happiness is the ultimate currency. That's all you need to go for. Happiness this, happiness that. The problem is then that we start getting down on ourselves when we're not happy. And a part of the human condition is that there are going to be times when you're not going to be happy. You're going to be down. You're going to be low. You're not going to feel like speaking to people. You don't feel inspired to do your work. You don't want to get up and train. And it's a normal thing. It's definitely a normal thing, part of being human. But I think it's how we manage it that's the important thing. And since I've been back, I'm kind of proud of myself in how I've been able to do what I need to do and be productive. I'm starting with my coaching clients again on Monday. This weekend is going to be offline totally. But it's when you get to those low times, when you feel uninspired, unmotivated, undisciplined, just flat. It's like meh. Yeah, just meh. You know what I mean? M-E-H, meh. That you're okay with it. That you understand it's a part of that. You can't have the highs if you don't have the lows. It happens. So this unrealistic chase for pure happiness all the time, based on what Instagram tells us, is not realistic. You are going to be down. Even though you just had an amazing trip, you are going to be down. Even though you just had an incredible something happen to you or an incredible success at work, you're going to be down. What goes up must come down, and what's down could go up. But yeah, the last 2 mornings I've woken up and I feel flat. I'm not going to lie to you. And not just flat energy-wise and jet lag, but kind of just like, I want to say unmotivated and undisciplined, and that's why there's a little part that say, just get up and fucking train, do something. Because if you don't give your body something to do, it fucks with your mind. Anxiety, depression, bad behavior, addictions, whatever it is. So, yeah, it's just, it's an interesting thing, kind of that low down feeling. And it's not just the jet lag. It's just to be on a high for so long in Chicago and in Svalbard specifically, you can expect things to be down. You can't, it's like if you win the NBA championships, which I think the Nuggets are going to take it, although I hope the Miami Heat take it. Once you win, the very next day, you start at the bottom again and you have to start again. And that thrill of victory is followed by, okay, back to basics, here we go again. And I think on a micro level, it works the same for all of us. But yeah, it's been a very flat few days. I'm kind of over Instagram, even though I've been off it for a while now. It's just like it's the same shit. So posting and ghosting still works. But yeah, I think for me, when I get to a place like this where you feel flat and you're just like no energy, no motivation, you're just like meh, M-E-H, meh, I default to action as far as physical goes. Just do something. And it's a fucking fight. People think because you train often, it becomes easier. It does not. It's still, you stare at your shoes for half an hour and you're like, okay, do this. But just by moving, by doing some physical activity, it moves the needle. It's 1 is better than 0. It's all that. So, yeah, that's kind of where it's at. Tonight, super chill, gonna watch TV and fall asleep in front of it. Maybe some indica, maybe get some indica to assist with that. And then the weekend hiking, because hiking out always makes it better. Jackson, go hiking. And then the rest of the weekend, just chill, trying to get back on time zone. And it's not find motivation or find discipline. It's not that. It's just, maybe finding means it's lost. It's just rediscovering it. It's just wiping it off and starting again. Fuck, I'm all over the place, hey? Shit. Anyway, let's wrap this because brain is like a sieve. It's all over the place. So, last coffee for the day. And then we go from there. So, loads of new ideas which I've taken notes of on my phone from next week. I want to do on the Wild Eye podcast. I'm going to do a series on the history of Svalbard and different areas there. I've got some booklets which I'm going to include in that. We've got some new content coming up with regards to video and how to shoot it. Luke's going to help with that one. Mary asked a question on the Wild Eye feed with regards to how to photograph low angle on safaris. That's coming up next week. And then on my personal platform, loads of cool stuff, ideas that came up with conversation. And that's the cool thing in Svalbard. There's loads of conversation 24/7, and I've got loads of notes and stuff that I want to dig into. The one particular one is you can create the center of your universe. You decide where that is. Where's the center of your world? And if you can define it for yourself, that the center of your world is where you are or you are it, it takes a lot of anxiety and stress and even depression away because you're happy where you're at. If I'm sitting here in the Wild Eye office and the center of my world, I wish, was Svalbard, for example, there's a disconnect from reality, and that's going to cause some kind of cognitive dissonance and stress, and downhill we go. So it's things like that came up in conversation. Things like sometimes pulling at a thread with a person or a situation isn't worth it. Maybe it unravels. Loads and loads of those kind of things. So that's all from the next few weeks. I'm in South Africa now for I think 6 weeks before I travel again, which is a private trip up to Kenya and then 2 weeks in the Mara camp. But I'm also then over the next while going to be working on our US marketing trip again in October. I've already got dates, 17 to 20 October in Chicago, 2 big workshops I'm going to be presenting there. I'm looking to include San Diego. I'm going to Moab to photograph, hopefully Denver, and then Boston and New York as well. So that's me putting that out over the next couple of weeks, finalize the details. But I'm waffling now, yeah? So, yeah, I'm going to call it, wherever you are, stay safe. And remember, the highs and the lows are all part of this thing, man. If we only had highs, you wouldn't know what a low feels like. And if you didn't have lows, you wouldn't appreciate the highs as much as you should, I think. Anyway. Okay. You know what jet lag feels like? It feels like you buried a bottle of tequila the day before, and you don't have the bad taste in your mouth like a lion shat in there. You don't have that. But you have this dull fuzziness, and it's like you shake your head and it keeps shaking. That's what it feels like. And I haven't had a drink in a while, so anyway. I've got nothing else. If you've watched this far through all the ramblings, thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Don't forget, you're awesome. Bye.